My beloved Catholics, we are going to speak of the night when heaven itself seemed to hesitate, when the bells of Rome almost tolled not for celebration, but for farewell. And I, Leo XIV, stood at the very edge of life, looking into eternity. Have you ever felt your knees weaken suddenly, as if the ground beneath you was no longer steady? That was my moment. A sudden illness, sharp, merciless, like a thief in the night, struck me down. The diagnosis was grim, a massive stroke, compounded by the failing rhythm of my heart. The doctors spoke in whispers, their faces pale, their instruments trembling as though they themselves were afraid. The words hung heavy in the air. "Holy Father, he may not survive the night." Rome was silent. The faithful prayed. I was caught between heaven and earth. Welcome to Matters in Rome. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notifications bell for more videos. What you're about to hear is not just the story of a pope, it is the story of God's mercy written upon human frailty. As I lay still, unable to speak, my mind wandered to Gethsemane. There, Christ himself whispered, "Not my will, but yours be done." And in that whisper, I found courage. The machines around me beeped like clocks counting down to eternity. Yet within, I felt a strange calm. The world outside my hospital room stormed heaven with prayers. Imagine a child clutching her rosary so tightly that her tiny fingers turned red. Picture an old man in a dim chapel, lighting one candle against the dark. Think of nuns kneeling, whispering Ave Marias deep into the night. Their prayers rose like incense, wrapping me in a mantle of unseen strength. And then, against all expectations, I stirred. Slowly, weakly, I breathed deeper. Doctors leaned in with disbelief. One even whispered, "It is not science alone keeping him alive." My strength returned, not all at once, but like dawn breaking through stubborn clouds. I recall opening my eyes to the faces of worried cardinals. My lips were dry, but I smiled faintly and whispered, "It seems heaven has refused me entry. Perhaps Rome is not ready for another conclave just yet." The room, once heavy with dread, burst into laughter. Yes, even at the door of death, God gave me humor as a weapon against despair. Have you ever laughed in the middle of tears? That is grace. It is like standing in a thunderstorm, soaked to the bone, only to feel the sun suddenly break through, warming your very soul. Beloved Catholics, why do I tell you this? Because my survival was not mine alone. It was yours. Your prayers, your tears, your faith pulled me back. Just as Peter did not walk on water by his strength, but by the gaze of Christ, so I, too, walked through illness by the gaze of heaven fixed upon me through your intercession. The lesson is clear. Faith is not the absence of storms, it is the courage to sail through them, knowing Christ is in the boat. My life was spared, not because I am greater than you, but to remind you that God is greater than every diagnosis, greater than every fear, greater than death itself. Think of it like this. A candle in a dark room does not chase away all shadows, but it brings just enough light for the next step. That night, I was that candle, fragile, flickering, but not extinguished. And now, I stand again, by God's mercy, to bless, to serve, and to remind you, never give up hope. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please like, share, and subscribe for more. And remember, my beloved Catholics, as I, Pope Leo XIV, learned on that night, death may knock loudly, but it is God who decides when the door is opened.